Once upon a time, in the popular Mayor Street of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, lived two childhood friends, Zizi and Tufo. They were more like sisters than friends. Their friendship crossed all boundaries and connected their both families. Very soon, both the Aka and Ota families became friends because of their children's friendship. From the moment they shared their first laughter in Basic 1, both Zizi and Tufo became inseparables. They shared their dreams, secrets, and adventures. They were so intertwined that both families shared their family time together once every month. They were there every last Sunday of the month, either to play games, watch a movie, or tell stories. This was a very special moment for them all, as laughter and stories flowed as freely as fried rice and chicken. As years passed, their friendship only grew stronger. Once, Zizi's mother was ill. Tufo was there all day, giving help and support to her friend in their trying moments. She was relieved of her house chores just to be able to help out at Zizi's house with some of the chores. Their high school graduation party was a very memorable event for both girls. Fueled with passion for entrepreneurship, Zizi decided to go to the prestigious Ado College of Catering, while Tufo was there at the Oriental College of Arts and Designs, learning fashion designing. Their chosen paths suited both girls. "You are tall and slender," said Zizi. "You will end up being the model for all your designs," Zizi teased Tufo. "What about you? With all the shapes in the world, your customers will keep on coming to have more taste of your food to help them get as curvy as you are," replied Tufo. "But come to think of it," said Tufo, "if I get a rich man, an Odogwu, who will provide me with all that I need, spoil me silly with all the good things of life, pamper me and make me his queen, I will gingerly sit back, enjoy his money, and enjoy life, my dear." At this, Zizi looked at her friend more deeply, her eyes narrowing dangerously. "Tell me, Tufo Ota, are you really serious?" "Yes, of course, my friend, I am. I wish you can even borrow me your backside. That will make my search for an Odogwu man even easier for me." "Look, Tufo, away with your tricks and twists. I know you don't really mean these things," Zizi replied. "As for me, I want to be a boss lady, though I will consider marrying, but I won't have to depend on my husband totally for everything," said Zizi. "As for me, Tufo Cotton, I want a soft life, my dear. Raising a family is enough work for a woman. And once I'm done with that, mine is just to cross my legs and let my Odogwu bring all the good things of life and pamper me. Abi, you don't want enjoyment?" Continued Tufo. So, for the very first time, Zizi and Tufo had a heated argument. Both of them felt quite uneasy at their different opinions about career and marriage. Finally, Zizi said to Tufo, "Look, Tufo, you've been my best friend from primary to high school. I don't think our different opinions on these topics should be allowed to get between our friendship." Tufo nodded slowly and said, "Yes, my friend, you are right. You are right, my friend." 2 weeks later, both girls went their different paths. Zizi to the catering school and Tufo to her fashion designing school. Both paths were full of promises as great career opportunities await the two beautiful friends from Mayor Street. Upon graduation from catering school, Zizi was all over Port Harcourt looking for a job. She submitted her applications to several hotels, restaurants, and fast food. Finally, she was employed by the AHA fast food in Port Harcourt. It was a great start for Zizi, for even though the pay was not much, but for Zizi, it was more than enough to start out in life. She worked hard to improve her culinary skills, and soon her meals became the best in her fast food. Troops of customers began to patronize the AHA fast food in Port Harcourt because of the mouth-watering meals Zizi prepared. Tufo, on her part, also graduated from her fashion designing school and worked a little for a big fashion house known as the Laurel House before Tufo's parents set up a shop for her at the heart of Port Harcourt. A month after Tufo started her shop, she met with a handsome young man named Tony. Tony was a very rich contractor who specialized in building complex plazas and hotels for his clients. At first, both Tony and Tufo were just casual friends, but as time went by, Tony began to buy Tufo expensive gifts, including designers' bags and gowns. If being his casual friend is like this, what about being his wife? Tufo thought. Soon, Tufo went for a visit to Tony's house and found out that he was even richer than she thought. Though Tony had many girlfriends, but Tufo cared less about it. The guy is rich and knows how to spend money on a woman. That's all that matters, she said. At first, Tufo will fight with many of Tony's girlfriends, claiming that Tony is her man. You go and look for your own man. You gold diggers. Tufo will tell Tony's numerous girlfriends who will come to visit Tony in his house. Soon, Tufo packed all her luggages and was finally living with Tony. Even with that, many girls still continued to look for him. Tufo thought of what to do. Many had already begun to see her as the Odogwu's wife because Tony is popularly known in the streets of Port Harcourt as the Odogwu silencer. Getting Odogwu silencer to be my husband is the most important achievement I can ever make. I mean, How much will fashion designing give me that my Odogwu will not give me times 100, she thought. In the months that followed, therefore, Tufo got pregnant for Tony and became his officially acclaimed wife. Meanwhile, her shop has been closed down for 3 long months. One day, one of her customers, Mrs. Anyim, called. "Hello, Tufo. Your shop has been clogged for some time now. I brought 7 different clothes for you to make for me. I also referred you to 2 of my friends who will be coming to make their Ashebi clothes. Please, Tufo, come and open your shop. Thank you, Mrs. Anyim, for wanting to patronize me, but you won't understand. I am no longer into fashion designing again." "Why? Why not?" pressured Mrs. Anyim. "My clothes always look unique when you make them." "It's just the stress," Tufo replied. As Tufo's pregnancy progressed, Tony finally had to marry her, and Tufo was very happy at her achievement. She left her fashion designing work quite alright, but she also gained it double by marrying an Odogwu silencer. In one of the days, Zizi was at Tufo's shop as she usually does. She gave her a call. "Baby girl, I was just passing by your shop this afternoon and stopped by to gist with you as usual, but I met your absence," Zizi said. "Oh, that?" replied Tufo. "I have closed down the business. In fact, the shop is now for rent. I need to face the most important business, which is my marriage," Tufo said. "But baby girl, I don't think you need to close down your shop and your business because you have gotten married." "Don't lecture me. I think I know what I want," Tufo cut in. Zizi then quickly apologized and turned to another conversation. Zizi was, however, still single, working in AHA fast food. Zizi wanted to be a boss lady. It was a big dream which she had to fight for. She worked hard, working double shift at AHA fast food. Her double shift job was quite demanding, but she had to do it. Zizi was well known at AHA fast food as she became the best cook and was promoted to the position of the chief chef. Her fiancé, Nnamdi, also was a chef at AHA fast food. Worked hard, also letting people know that she is a chef. Little by little, people started giving her side jobs, including the supplies of chops and pastries to schools. Soon, Zizi thought about resigning from her job to open her own fast food. She made plans with her fiancé Nnamdi. While she resigns and starts her own fast food and continues with her numerous supplies to school, Nnamdi is to stay back and continue to work at AHA fast food until their own business stands. At first, after Zizi opened her own fast food, things were not easy for her, but she persisted tirelessly, and through recommendations, she began having much patronage. The high and mighty soon began to troop to Zizi's fast food to have a taste of her mastery meals. As Zizi and Nnamdi planned on opening their second branch, they were at Tony and Tufo's place to invite them for this special occasion. It's been a while, Zizi said to Tufo as they entered her house. Zizi then introduced her fiancé Nnamdi to her friend Tufo. He's a chef, also at Aha Foods, Zizi said, smiling heartily. Tufo was disappointed at her friend Zizi. First, she began to show her the Gucci bags she just selected from her vendor. This one is $2,000. Then she brought the Da Vinci collection bag and said, this one too is $2,500. After showing her all her collections, she then took her by the side and said, Zizi, you are not city-wise at all. Of all the men in Port Harcourt, you went to choose a chef to marry you. Upon say you get fine backside. You are not smart, and that is why I have kept my distance from you. Okay, look at me now. I even the buy nyash the well, still. I fought hard to get myself an Odogwu silencer. Let me ask you, Zizi, can your fiancé afford bags of $4,500 at once? That is almost 7 million naira. Zizi, on hearing the figure, placed her hands on her mouth. But you should have used that money and started a business. Exactly what I am saying, replied Tufo. We are 2 worlds apart now. Be smart and get for yourself a better man, eh? As soon as Zizi came back to sit where Nnamdi sat, Nnamdi, who have overheard all their conversation, took her hands and said, Zizi, let's go from here. Zizi knew that she and Tufo are worlds apart indeed, and so they hurriedly said goodbye and left Tufo's house. 6 months later, Odogwu Silencer's client from abroad came back and was disappointed to see that his hotel project has not yet even started. Having sent him over 2 billion naira, Mr. Emeka expected that his hotel structures to be near finishing, but not even the foundation had been laid. Soon, the EFCC came to carry Odogwu, and he spent all his money bailing himself from their custody. The duplex where he rented was due for renewal, and he couldn't afford to renew it. He and Tufo and their son were evicted from the place where they lived. Tufo had brought out all her Gucci bag, but no one was willing to buy it at the price it was bought. She soon began to apply for a job to ensure that their son did not starve to death. As she entered Zizi's fast food, it did not occur to her that she might know the owner until she was greeted by Zizi. "What can we bring for you?" said Zizi. "No, I just dropped my CV at the manager's office," Tufo replied. "Zizi, my friend, it's like you work here. Please help me secure this job, she pleaded. I really need it. My husband entered a big case and all our money just went down the drain in a twinkle of an eye. Zizi smiled confidently. Don't worry, my friend. You will get it. Just come for the interview by 10 a.m. on Saturday. By 10 a.m. that Saturday morning, Tufo was there for the interview. It was there he saw a knowing face, Nnamdi, and the way everyone was addressing both him and Zizi. Then something dawned on her. How can the name be Zizi Fast Food, she thought. She then summoned the courage and asked Zizi, It's like you are the owner of this place? Tufo asked. Yes, dear. This is our second branch, replied Zizi, and you will get the job. As Tufo went home that day, she was full of thoughts. She is not the smart one, as she thought after all. As Tufo resumed work in Zizi Fast Food, she was treated kindly by her childhood friend Zizi and her husband Nnamdi. She learned a valuable lesson that smartness is not in marrying an Odogwu silencer, meaning a bossman, as she thought, but in being productive as a woman.